Good evening. Wednesday, April 16th. It's time for the Community Development Advisory Committee. Let's start off with a call to order and attendance. John.
John Brunza, mayoral appointee.
Mary Ann Callahan, mayoral appointee.
Eileen Hughes, District 2.
Marilyn Austin, District 6.
Michelle O'Loughlin, member at large.
And I'm Justin McGregor, the chair representing District 7. All right, so everyone get your minutes from our last meeting last Thursday, the 10th. Do we have a motion to accept, or do we have any amendments that need to be made? Michelle.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of Wednesday,
Thursday,
Thursday,
Mhm.
April
10th.
10th.
Do we have a second? All right, we have a second for that. All in favor? Opposed? Maryland did. As the chair, I want to recognize that Jordan Trice has entered the room. She does not have a microphone. Jordan, what district do you represent? 5th district, now in the room. Thank you, Jordan. And while you're here, we haven't closed it yet. Did you approve the minutes? Did you see them? Okay. Very good. Thank you. A unanimous approval of the minutes. All right, that means we move on to the third piece of our agenda, and that is the department presentations. The mayor's office is listed here. I don't see anybody from the mayor's office. No. The police department.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Find your page here. Steve, these packets keep getting enormous. I think we need to start front and backing these. Oh, it's the last page. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Where's yours?
So my name is Dave Bidwell. I am a captain with the Binghamton Police Department, and I'm also the director for the Sub-Tier Crime Analysis Center for New York State. This will be my last presentation as I am retiring here shortly.
Congratulations.
So thank you. The Binghamton Police Department is requesting $50,000 for CBDG funds. The funding is going to be used for walk-in details, which we are currently doing now, but the funding comes from numerous grants, which are expiring or we will run out of money of June of this year. So that is what we are requesting our funds for. Walk-in details, walk-in patrols. So uniformed police officers just walk in the beat is what it is. For us though, it's an overtime detail because our manpower shortage, our manpower is so short. So the shifts don't have the manpower to allocate people just distinctly go walk. So it's been funded through grants on overtime to get police officers walking in the neighborhoods. Yes.
I know Deborah had a question and she just appeared. The chair would like to recognize Deborah. Deborah, welcome to the meeting. Deborah, what district do you represent? I just want to make sure you're on record.
Mayoral appointee.
Okay, thank you. And you had said last time that you had questions for the police department, so as soon as you have, he's open for your question.
Was trying to do. Welcome. Thank you so much.
How are you?
Great supporter. Really concerned. First and foremost, septet. That was an initiative out of the Center City Weed and Seed Initiative and really was able to provide support and relief to neighborhoods across the city. It's where around a table once a month, various department heads, the mayor's office, the county sends GIS over. And from my understanding, once we got out of COVID, it was to be reestablished. And I believe Captain Bidwell was recently on a CEPTED conference. So it is my hope, and calls have been made, that in June, we can start that up as initiative.
So I actually, it's me, it's Captain Bidwell. SEPTED itself, so it's been ongoing, but the monthly meetings will start back up this May.
Great.
Because I am currently I teach it for DCJS, so the state is sending me, I was in Nassau last week, Albany the week before.
I've been tracking you, I just haven't been successful.
Teaching other law enforcement agencies how to implement it in their thing. But so the monthly meetings will start back up. I could just tell you from where we're at now with our workups. Right now, we're doing a workup on the State Street parking ramp. So that's the one that'll be finishing up, and then in May's meeting, we'll be discussing those along with a couple of other workups that we've done recently.
Are there any things that you need from us other than what you are proposing? What I would say the wish list.
No, as far as SEPTED goes, we've received continuous funding out of the GIVE grant. So as far as having the ability to send officers out to do the workups on overtime, just because we can't directly allocate manpower to do it full time. So we've been very lucky in that aspect, where we've had dedicated funding streams. So as far as SEPTED goes, we've really been very good as far as the ability. And on top of that, we've recently, last year, we got a technology grant through DCJS. We'll get another one this year. So we have, it's called a Faro scanner. So it's a 3D scanner. So what we're using those for is like, really, it's going to be like community policing. So like for businesses, like if a business wanted us to come out and 3D scan their business, we could come out and do it. We could do, we've done some schools. So just from like a police response, if anything ever bad really happened, we would have a 3D scan so we could look at, and we would know the dimensions of the rooms, how deep is the room, which way does the door open, is it inward, is it outward, how tall are the windows. So the scans themselves, they're accurate within 1 millimeter. So it's a new tool, and we actually just bought a new scanner. So they came out with new technology, so it's faster to scan.
I have a question. I'm looking at the uniform interview page. About the walking. Okay, funding will be used to pay officers overtime to walk for this detail in selected neighborhoods.
Yep.
Can you tell me what neighborhoods?
Yeah, so as far as our grant, we don't have any restrictions now. So we literally, if depending on how many guys are working, we rotate them throughout the different districts in the city of Binghamton. So whether it's the downtown business district, whether it's the 209 post, the 207 post, which is going to be.
Well, I don't know what those are, sorry.
No, so
209.
we're going to, we'll break them down into subsections. So it's going to be, all right, so you two are going to go, say we have 5 guys that come in for the detail. We'll be like, all right, you guys are going to head over, you're going to do Susquehanna, Fayette, Court Street, you're going to do that sector. You guys are going to go to the first ward. You guys are going to walk the first ward today, Prospect to Glenwood, over to Oak, down to McGatt. And so they keep track of where they work. I just know that when it comes to CDBG funds, I think there are some restrictions as to where the manpower has to go. So that would, I mean, if Stephen gave us a map of like where these are the areas where you can use this, then we would just adhere to those restrictions.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I believe the areas were parts of the south side, and then the other big one was, I think, the one that incorporated North Street.
Yep.
I think those are the 2 major ones that will qualify.
I would also hope the first ward would qualify because we need it. Mr. Captain Bidwell, you look so happy. I hope it's not because you're retiring.
Always
Look at that.
happy.
Look at that. My question is, what exactly will the community police do, because I've seen them in my own neighborhood and I've
Yep.
actually gone out and bended their ear for a while.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They're marvelous. But if they see kids doing something wrong or they see traffic, parked on the wrong side of the street, are they going to be calling those kinds of things in? What will they do?
Absolutely. So I would tell you that the priority of the walk-in details is really just to get police officers in neighborhoods from a non-reaction. So not like when we get sent to somewhere, it's reactionary, right? It's going to be because there's an emergency and community members, sometimes it's always something bad. And so there's never that positive interaction. So I could tell you just from the time that we implemented the walk-in details, just how much people in neighborhoods loved seeing law enforcement walk in the neighborhoods. And so really what it was is the priority of it was is to get uniformed police officers in neighborhoods to allow people to have those positive interactions. So then you're putting a name and a face together. So back like it was in the 80s and 90s when cops were always walking neighborhood, like wherever you lived, you knew that on Tuesdays, Officer Bidwell was going to be walking your neighborhoods in the afternoons. So I think that was the first priority of it. But on the same token, every officer is always obligated to handle anything that comes up from a law enforcement nature. And if it wasn't pressing or it wasn't an emergency, then that's something that they would forward to the right units.
The reason I asked the question is because on my street and in some streets in the first ward, we have roaming gangs of little kids
Mhm.
who need probably the right kind of direction. So having your officers be there after school and during the evening hours is awesome. And I also wanted to say that you are missed at the First Ward Neighborhood Watch meetings.
There's
Thank
been
you.
some good fillings for me though. There's some.
No, there have been, but we still missed you.
There's some
Thank
good
you.
young officers coming.
Congratulations on
Thank
your
you very
retirement.
much. I appreciate it.
John,
Hi, Captain.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I'd like to ask for your perspective.
Mhm.
Particularly with some of our after-school programs.
Yep.
Some of the teen programs, summer programs. How are they doing? And what changes have you seen over time?
So 20 years now, there's been a lot of good programs in my time that I've seen. So whether it's going to be Boys and Girls Club, Pale Camp, different, I mean, my career path is maybe a little bit different than most where I spent time in the community response team. I ran the community response team. I ran our task force. I sit on the Pale Camp board. I sit on a town and gown, a ton of boards. I would say the best initiative in my time that I've seen that had the most impact, without a doubt, is the walk-in detail. Just from me, right? And I'll speak from my perspective. I don't think I've ever had a more rewarding interaction than actually going out and getting just to talk to people on a non-call basis and just getting FaceTime and just seeing how happy and how much people appreciated that. So from in my term, the walk-in detail, 100%. I mean, it's right there. The Pale Camp. I mean, how can you can't, I mean, summertime with kids is always a blast. So it's in the Boys and Girls Club, but I mean, for an initiative that's funded through different means, I think that the walk-in details has been the most impactful.
Well, certainly. And I guess the reason that I'm asking for your perspective is, we also have other programs
Yep.
that we're weighing funding on.
Yep.
And, as somebody who's in the community and seems to have good perspective.
Right.
On, what's working is, the Boys and Girls program. They've got the after hours teen program, summer program, teen center.
Yep.
Are you seeing that stuff makes a difference?
We used to have a ton of interaction with the Boys and Girls Club. The funding for that kind of went by the wayside. I know that was always a very positive thing, especially from the community and the kids themselves. I mean, because it wasn't just, we would do the after school activity, the programs, we would do mentorship programs. And then even in the summertime when school wasn't in session and it wasn't after school, we would do things like B-Mets games with them. We would take them to parks. We'd go golfing. But I mean, a lot of it is manpower driven for us. And then everything comes down to financials, right? I mean, can we afford to do it? So unfortunately, it's really like ebbs and flows for our police department. It depends on what grants are coming in and the resources that we have where we can allocate them.
Right, but even outside of police involvement in
Mhm.
those programs, you see, are they keeping the kids where they need to be? Are they keeping?
Well, I think anytime, so I have 7. I have 2 boys. I have one in the
Yeah.
Army, one in the Marines, and then 11 down to 4. So
Wow, you need to retire.
I'm not going anywhere. My paycheck's just going to be a different name on it. But from a father standpoint, right, I think
Yeah.
it is important to keep kids busy,
Mhm.
right? And to not for them to have so much downtime. So I think it really is important for these after school activities, any mentorship programs that not only the police department could do, but anybody, right? So I think anytime that we can get the kids out from the streets, in like we used to run basketball camps at the church on Main Street. We would do Little League. I mean, so I think anytime that you can keep kids from having too much idle time, I think it's a positive and definitely something that should be supported.
Thank you. And if I can just pivot briefly, what about the effectiveness of our homeless programs and shelters?
So that is something, I mean, I definitely couldn't speak directly. I mean, from a homeless standpoint, I would tell you that from my perspective, it has definitely increased substantially in my time as a police officer. As far as what the cause is or how do we solve those, it's probably better left for somebody a lot smarter than me.
I certainly appreciate your perspective. Thank
Yes, thank you.
Hi, I represent the 5th district, which is over there off of Vestal Ave.
Okay.
I actually live on Mary Street, specifically Lower Mary Street.
Yep.
So I'm sure you're very familiar with my neck of the woods. I'm a little concerned about the walking detail because I already see your officers routinely sitting on my street.
Mhm.
When I have tried to interact with them, like some of my commissioners have, I get told to mind my business and go find a job. I
Okay.
have that officer's badge number if you're interested.
Absolutely.
So I have a very different perspective
Sure.
because I feel like they're just like, oh, this is just scum and we're going to treat them like scum. And I've seen it firsthand. They've come and harassed me while I'm just sitting on my porch, just people watching. Because there's a lot to watch on Lower Mary. So I want to know, what does this walking detail, how is it going to positively impact neighborhoods like mine?
So I could speak from my sister lives there, right on Mary, at the bottom of Mary. So I can tell you, I'm sorry that you had a negative experience. I can tell you that personally, myself and guys who work for my office out of the Crime Analysis Center, I've been over there a ton of times. Just, I mean, for personal reasons, other than it's just it's a good hill for me to climb. I need a little exercise, but as far I would, again, the negative act that you had, and I am sorry for that, but I would tell you that from the most part that I've seen or that I've been a part of, and I can only speak of, what I've seen or been a part of, the interactions even on Mary Street, or, I mean, Mary Street isn't singular as a location in the city of Binghamton, and it could be Edward Street. But it just doesn't really matter where you are. It's really just going to be about the experience that you had with them, or the experiences that so if it's troubled youth or if it's neighbor disputes, it really is just how are the officers interacting with the people over there. So, right.
Can tell you of a specific incident where there were 2 teenagers fighting. It was a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. The 16-year-old lost the fight. The mother got involved to the 16-year-old, and then the 14-year-old beat up the 16-year-old's mother. And BPD was right across the street. And when we asked them if they were going to do anything, they said that per COVID guidelines, they were supposed to limit their interaction with the public. And
Okay.
they did absolutely nothing. And it was a very gruesome fight because that mom was not expecting that at all. And that's why I'm just like, so what is this going to look like for my neighborhood? Because so far there's minimal done. And then when there is something done, it's not as much as could be done. I don't know. They're not really rectifying the problem.
Sure.
Sometimes I feel like they're just adding more fuel to the fire.
Okay.
Like if there wouldn't have been there, then we wouldn't have been like, hey, what are you guys gonna do about this? Oh, that's, we're supposed to limit our contact. What? That makes no sense. This was not last summer, the summer prior.
Okay.
So, and they still all live there. Both those families, they
Right.
still live in that vicinity.
Okay.
I'm sure you can assume
Yeah,
who-
I can-
what the families are.
can-
I've lived on that street for 10 years.
My sister, she's been over there about 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, I'd love to have a discussion offline.
Captain Bidwell, how are you doing with recruiting new officers? And the second part of my question is, are you going to pair maybe more experienced officers with the new officers if they do community based on what Jordan just recounted to us?
Yeah, so I would, recruitment wise, I could tell you that we're short. I think we're on the books for 145. I think we have 15 in the academy, 14 in the academy,
Mhm.
which we didn't have enough people even take the tests to fill the spots that we needed to fill. And then with incoming retirements, myself included, it'll be even shorter. But I would say that it's tough. A lot of younger generation cops don't want to work overtime. So I would say when it comes to details, I would say for the most part, it is mostly senior officers that are choosing to work it that I've seen, without really deep diving into it. I mean, if I had it my way, I absolutely would pair a young guy with a guy who's been around. Or even like, if I was running the detail, if there was a guy who I knew grew up in the first ward, right, who have been over there, who grew up in that neighborhood, I would emphasize that would be the person that I would have all, as I grew up in the first ward. So, I mean, I've had plenty of interactions on the first ward since I was a child. So, but yeah, if in a perfect world, I absolutely would pair a young guy with an older guy or more seasoned girl.
So if you
guy.
had the chance to do that, then the captain would do that.
But yeah, but I mean, sometimes we're just,
Right.
it's just, what do we have and what are we working with?
I do want to say that in my neighborhood, especially because I am the neighborhood witch and I call the cops all the time. I even called the cops on Captain Bidwell one time
She did.
because I saw him out of my kitchen window and didn't know who he was, which was really cool. But one of the things that I have noticed is that when I do call and young officers respond, they are extremely good. And I think that one of the things community policing can do is build that. And whatever we can do as a city, and even on the school board, whatever the school district can do to make this program work, because things like, what happened on Mary Street should never happen. And the things that I'm experienced should be the experience of everybody.
Right.
So whatever we can do.
Absolutely.
Anything further? Oh, Deborah.
One final question. What is the fate of the Citizen Police Academy? Because I think I was where Jordan was in interactions. And once I was able to go to the Citizen Police Academy, every department is shown, including traffic. Even got to handle some really great weapons. But that was a way to build trust. We also emphasize pulling back from the adult and doing the youth. Do you have funds for that? And do you have personnel for that?
Yeah, so we actually just ran 3 sessions of high school civilian police academies. So we had kids from Windsor, Binghamton, Johnson City, Main and Well, and now we are going to look to, now that school is going to be ending here in the spring, in the May, June, we're going to be looking to probably host a couple adult civilian police academies again, just to bring that back up. And then again, next year, as long as the funding is, then we'll probably, we're going to start doing, I mean, this was the first year we started implementing it again. So we ran 3 sessions of high school kids, but we are going to start running adult sessions as well.
And just to follow up with what John was saying, what was the feedback from your youth participants?
I mean, from the high school standpoint, the I call them kids. From them, it's like they watch TV, they have assumptions of CSI or how things are really done. So to bring them in and have them go from unit to unit to unit. So juvenile detectives to crime scene, to our SWAT guys, to the community response team. I think it's eye-opening for them to see just the different departments and how they actually do things. And then just to put a name and a face, I think is important.
All right, very good. Anything further? Seeing nothing. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you guys very much.
Enjoy your retirement.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, Parks Department. And this is the fourth, is this the 14 pages? Or-
Yeah.
Okay.
Handed out copies for everybody. Thank you.
Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours. Just make sure your light is green.
Okay, so on the last page of the packet that you have, would be our list of possible projects.
Could you just state your name and
Oh,
your?
sorry. Shane Hurd, I'm the Assistant Director, Parks and Recreation. So it's pretty itemized there. It's a 5-year plan. The green writing, if you have that on there, that would be what we consider a priority in this coming year. We could talk through the rest of the packet if you'd like, but it's probably easier for you to read it.
Can you tell me where Phelps Park is?
Um,
I'm not sure what that one is.
yeah. I don't think I've actually ever been to Phelps Park, to be honest with you. I handle the recreation sports side of
Okay.
everything. I'm filling in for our commissioner tonight.
No problem.
I just left a football coaches meeting for our youth football coaches and ran over here to do this.
While my colleagues will get your list, I want to say that the First Ward Neighborhood Watch meets at the Senior Center on
Okay.
Clinton Street.
Yes.
And we really appreciate you letting us in.
Oh, no
Thank
problem.
you. Thank you
No
very
problem.
much.
No problem at all.
Just Phelps Park is at State Street and Bevier Street.
So as you're coming
Oh,
on,
okay,
actually, that's where we do our,
Parallel to the Brandywine.
yep, that's,
Yeah, it's like that long, narrow park.
so that's where we do our safety town. If you go to that park and you look in the driveway, you'll see all the
Yeah,
different things. That's where we do our safety town.
thank you, Stephen.
So Safety Town doesn't rotate through the different parts of the city. It's always done up there.
It's always done there now. The building is just for them. All right, so summer fun, we used to rotate through and we're not going to do that this year because we have our new recreation center
Right.
and we're going to run all of our programming for summer fun out of the recreation center. So Felt Park, that building is just for Safety Town. So everything's housed there. There's quite a bit of stuff that you need.
Right.
And just the way the street has to be maintained with all the different painting and all
Right.
that. It's difficult to do it as we expanded it.
Right. So then, since you brought that up,
Yeah.
would you like to talk about the new rec
Sure.
center, the former St. Mary's
Yeah,
Rec Center,
Sure.
correct?
So right now, and like I said, I just left there. We use it as a meeting place for our coaches because we train all of our youth coaches. We make them go to meetings where we teach them, fundamentals and how we want it done. As I was leaving, adult volleyball was going on in there. And when I was there this morning, we probably had 25 pickleballers in there. So right now, on a given day, we're open from about 8:30 to a little after 1 for pickleball. So they have a 9 to 1 block. We lined 2 pickleball courts in the gym. All right, so they're able to play, real pickleball in there all morning, all day, every day. And then at around 5:15, we have all of our, right now it'd be youth baseball and softball teams that come in and use it for practice because the weather has been so poor. We purchased an indoor batting cage that we drag out. So they're able to into a batting cage. We have tees and nets. So they're able to hold full indoor practices. And each team gets a 1-hour block, 1 or twice a week. So right now the rec center is running about 8 to 9 hours a day with a lot of participants. So it's been really nice to see. Once the kids get out for baseball and softball, they start getting outside. Nighttime programming will turn to some of our off-season stuff, which we did in the month of February once we got the building up and running. So you can see football in there one night. You can see cheerleading in there one night. You can, any of our coaches who want to have some indoor clinic time, we call them clinics because they're off season, they're not practices. We do that right out of there now. So what you would go into other municipalities, Enwell, Endicott, Vestal, and you pay money to go to, indoor practices, we're providing the kids of Binghamton for free.
What about the exterior?
The exterior will be done, hopefully this spring, later this spring into the summer. So, we're gonna fix it, make it,
Yeah.
let's make it look,
It's
the roof was just done.
Right.
So it did leak, so we had that done. We have all brand new windows in the classrooms. We made those, they were very big windows.
Yep.
There was a couple bullet holes in them.
Yeah.
So we put all brand new windows in there already. So that piece of it is done. They have a little bit more to do on the exterior to finish that project and the painting of it on the interior. But the windows are in place. They're beautiful. The sills are beautiful. They're really brighten those rooms up. We also put split unit in each classroom because the air conditioning doesn't work in there.
Right.
I'm not so worried about the gym. I'll probably throw a fan into the ceiling at one point, a large fan to suck some of the humidity out in the nighttime during the summer. But each classroom now has a split unit heat and air for when we're going to run programming out of the classroom. But the exterior of the building is set to be done. We'll get bids on that pretty soon here.
And is there going to be fencing around it?
So the outdoor courtyard where the benches are,
Yes.
that would be the only new fencing that we would do. Because we're thinking about possibly putting some of the outdoor fitness equipment in
Right.
that area. So we would fence that area in, but there's no plan right now to fence anything else off.
I just, the Samaritan House
Mhm.
was there, so I was there all the time. So
Okay.
I'm familiar
Yeah, yeah,
with that. So there's a problem with people sleeping in that alcove
Right.
there, and it's a problem
okay.
area,
We'll look at it. We put 13 security cameras up,
right?
brand new alarm system and everything else. So we haven't seen much of that, but that's certainly something we could look into.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, is there a pre-K program in there?
Not in there, no.
Is there going to be?
It'll be, I think it'll start age 5 for summer fun.
Okay.
No, we're not going to run pre-K programming out of that during the school year. Is that what you're asking?
Well, I wasn't sure because there's one room that we donated a lot of stuff to.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
I have that.
Okay.
And that's going to be the youngest group for summer funds room.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thanks. Good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
Deborah.
Yes, welcome. Will there be plans to reestablish the baseball diamond at Columbus Park? That's something that has a long tradition, and I've been very sad the last 2 or 3 years it hasn't been maintained. And do we need to raise funds to have a Little League because in the past, we used to be city champs.
So have you been there recently?
Looked over there. Nope.
So the field is all brand new infield. I'm gonna put a portable mound. So it was so uneven on the infield. So we filled a bunch of it up. I'm probably gonna have to scalp that in the fall and then get it to the grade of the infield, plant all new grass, and I'll put a portable mound in there that it won't be portable, but when you buy it, so it'll be there. But that field, the brand new roofing on the dugouts were fixed in the past 3 weeks. We put fencing. One of the problems that we got from the parents why they did not want to practice there is because people would come from the parking lot of St. Mary's now, and they'd be able to walk right up to the dugout. And they were very nervous. So we put fencing that now protects both dugouts. So kids can leave their stuff in there and not worry about it being taken or anything by people. Eventually, yes, we don't do the teams by geographic location anymore in the city. We stopped doing that before I got here. This is my 4th year, and we stopped doing that before I got here. We just don't have the numbers from each side of the city for each side to have a team. So they all go into one pool. And then recently we've been in a league with Chenango Valley, Johnson City. So our kids get to play different people as well. There's practices there a lot now, but we have not scheduled any games there yet. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more work on that to make it game ready. But the goal, so one of our workers now, we have a worker that's only assigned to Rec Park. We have a worker that's only assigned to MacArthur Park. Now we have a worker that's solely assigned to St. Mary's and Columbus Park. So his directive is, I want that to be the nicest looking park in the city.
Talking about fencing, when you fenced it off for the ball field, that was huge because literally there would be people walking through when they had the game. So I look
Yeah.
forward to investigating. So
Yeah, so
Thank
you'll
you.
see the new fencing around the dugouts. What I want to try to put into a plan eventually is some type of windscreen along the whole perimeter of the park. So while you're in the park, the view is that high fence, and that's going to be covered. So it'll almost be enclosed on both sides where the houses are. There's a lot of garbage that gets thrown in there and blows into the park. They don't throw their garbage out to the curb. They just throw it in their backyard. And that becomes a mess for us. as
not
far as
all of us
maintaining.
do.
So we're going to try to do something and really enclose the park. Yes, there are also plans to shift the basketball court. So the basketball court is facing the wrong direction, so to speak. So you shoot with the sun in your eyes. Also, the slope of the basketball court is poor. When they did that, when it was designed and engineered and put in, they didn't do a great job with that. So that needs to be fixed. So we'll do some work on the basketball court in the coming years as well to shift that. But we also have plans of a complete overhaul of the park, and that's still in its design phase.
Cdac to hear. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any more questions? This is non-CDAC related, but I'm an East Sider, and I heard of the changes at the Fairview Park pool and the names. Do you know what they're gonna do in honoring Eliza with the pool?
I have a meeting on that tomorrow.
Okay,
So yes, we are going to dedicate that to Eliza. And we'll put a plaque up and have some type of service or something to honor that. The family is on board. We spoke to the family. They're on board with it. So now it's just devil's in the details. How are we gonna do it? When are we gonna do it? Those types of things. But yes, we are gonna do that.
is it true they're gonna paint the building purple
We
parts of it?
yeah,
That's all I keep hearing. They're gonna paint Fairview Park
That,
pool purple. I was like, oh,
that
the pool?
that has
Building.
not. I have not been in on those discussions yet. But I don't know. That I don't know.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Microphone, please.
Is it the whole park that's going to be named after her, or is it gonna remain?
I believe
Fairview
it's just going to
Park?
be the pool.
Okay,
But again, that meeting's tomorrow. This was brought up by Councilmember Dundon. He's pushing it and we're meeting on site tomorrow to talk the exact logistics of it. Okay. Okay, yeah.
for weed whackers, leaf blowers, and a cart with an enclosed cab.
Those are not CDBG eligible, unfortunately.
Oh. He could just call me and ask for that stuff, yeah.
I have one more quick question.
Yes, Michelle.
So, I'm kind of lost on how much you're actually asking for.
I don't think that there is a specific amount. I think if, you know, what we would like for 2026 is 325. If you add all those green numbers up, that's the bottom. High priority wish list 2026, that's about 325 there. You know, the rec park roof of the pool house is a high priority. Webster Street Park looks beautiful right now with the brand new pickleball courts. They get a ton of use. People are real happy about those. The pool is what I think a beautiful pool. I think that pool is really underused for the size of it and how good of a pool it is. So now we want to do something with the basketball courts there. And then that park will, you know, we redid the playground equipment. We blew some more stuff in there over the last couple of years to protect the kids, make it a little safer. So we're good on that stuff. The last piece of that park would be the basketball courts, and then just the sidewalk around the pool needs some replacing as well. So
It's Webster Street.
Webster Street, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Not seeing anybody else. Thank you for your time. You're excused.
You're welcome. Thanks, folks. Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you.
Next up, Public Works.
Very first.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joshua Paluti. I am the Superintendent of City Streets and the Acting DPW Commissioner. So with my CDBG funding this year, I'd like to get 3 streets milled and paved. Now with the CDBG funding, it's only good for mill and pave for what I do. So I can't do sidewalks, I can't do curbs, I can't do underground work. So this is just the milling and paving aspect of it. I picked 3 streets that are relatively close to one another. That way we get our most bang for our buck. When you do a mill and pave project, they charge you to go to the site. And every time they have to reorganize and move equipment, it costs again. If I can get streets that are relatively close, where we can just, what we like to call walk the machine instead of transport it, it saves money in transportation costs, fuel, everything else, and we can move that savings on, a little more bang for our buck. For this one, I am looking to do Dixon, Colfax, and May Street. Dickinson Street is less than 1 mile away from Colfax and May. Colfax and May actually intersect. They're connected to each other. I can walk that machine for no cost because of the proximity of it. These are 2 streets that are they're in pretty rough shape, and they definitely need resurfaced. We typically get most of our funding from CHIPS, which is the consolidated. It's the Consolidated Local Street and Highway Improvement Plan. You'll have to excuse me, a lot of acronyms floating around here anymore. My CDBG funding is typically around 5%, depending on what we're doing in the year and just where we're at. The streets we come from, Steve, I send Steve up a primary list of streets we're looking to do. He goes through, he tells me if they're CDBG eligible or not, and then I proceed to pick from there. My estimate for those 3 streets is right around $153,000.
Just to clarify, in case it's been confusing before, any street that's eligible for mill and pave is also eligible for restriping, the signage, curbs, sidewalk, curb cuts, installing the ADA, rubber pads. All of those are eligible, including if you were ever going to do utilities underneath as well. So if you ever did want to do full depth reconstruction, all of that's eligible. The only thing that wouldn't be eligible is what's considered maintenance. So repainting the streets without milling and paving them first would be ineligible. But everything else involved with milling and paving is absolutely eligible, just so you're aware of that. If it's an eligible CDBG street, pretty much everything you're going to have to do to redo that street is eligible.
Okay,
yeah.
I was misinformed from the beginning then, Steve. I'll have to get with you and we'll go through that completely.
Yeah, because definitely, there's definitely more stuff that could be reimbursed.
Excuse me, are you able to repeat the names of the streets, please?
Could you speak up just a little bit louder?
Yes, can you please name the streets again, please?
It's gonna be Dickinson, May Street, and Colfax.
It's
Thank you.
listed in D on your sheet.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, I see it now. Thank you. Although I was hoping that the lower end of Moore Street would be on there, but hoping that might be on a short list somewhere. The winter was rough on it.
Our city streets took a beating this winter pretty bad. I'm gonna have to go through and do a completed reevaluation. Questions?
Any more questions for John? Deborah?
Yes, thank you. One of the things that I spoke with Steve earlier today, and I'm not sure how this would work. Does your department currently have any anti-graffiti type machinery that you utilize to work on your street areas or utility boxes?
So
Sign department?
when it comes to graffiti, we do have a certain paint machine that we use for certain things, but for the most part, we're using spray cans. I did watch your guys' meeting on the 2nd, I believe it was, and you brought up graffiti and the time it takes to get it taken care of. In the winter months, it's hard. The paint is not going to stick if it's below 40 degrees. We push it sometimes, as if we can get it just above freezing, we'll go out and do it. But that's why you see that lull in the winter sometimes. It's too cold and the paint doesn't stick. But as far as like a special machine, we have a spray machine that we use to do the roads, and you can do the flood wall is another concern. I'll cut you guys in a minute. We can do the flood wall with it now, so we can do larger areas faster.
Great. A lot of our discussion was like the public areas. My issue at last meeting was private structures and trying to work on that. So would that be usable on the vacant buildings? If they've been cited, it goes through the adjudication through code, vacant property, and the court, and they don't do it, similar to what the DPW has been tasked with, taking garbage out of certain properties and then it gets billed to the taxes for that property owner. Could graffiti removal be utilized in a similar way?
So I don't have a problem doing with that. That's something that you're gonna have to speak with the code department about. That's something I can't just send, I can't send my guys on private property unless I have a work order for that specific property. The Fayette properties are a good example of that. There was a bunch of graffiti on them, and those are now city-owned properties. Unacceptable in my eyes. We went and we kind of just blacked it out as best we could.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Just trying to spread it around for other neighborhoods.
As far as the flood wall goes, the flood wall actually is DEC has a lot to do with that. you have to possess a special permit and use special paint for that. The brand new one that they tagged, again, that took so long because the weather was just not complimentary of it. And we used that paint, we got a day. That wall is actually a little bit of a different color than the other ones. That's why it doesn't match quite right. We were just trying to get it covered up at that point. We're doing a little better paint matching now. Now, on the flood wall, you can only use a certain type of paint, and there are guidelines and permits that I have to go through every time we do that wall. So that's why that's kind of, you'll see spring and you'll see me do it probably in the fall a lot of the times. That's why it is the way it is.
Right, they use some type of, I was talking to some of the crews that were working on it when they were doing it, and the last set of paint they were doing, because of its close proximity to the street, something about a salt repellent layer of paint or something they were putting on to keep the wall from deteriorating from salt and winter stuff.
Thing that they have to use.
I think his is dying. We get to a certain number of minutes on it and they're like, nope, not anymore.
Try this one.
But that's why you see the lull in some of the graffiti. And then, to be honest, I only have so many guys.
Right.
When it comes to certain like street signs and things like that, if we get a day where it's just a little bit rainy and dreary and we can't do painting on the streets, I send them to do that. It's just, we try and mix it around as much as we can.
Okay. Deborah.
Josh, I just want to say a great job with snow removal this year. I think pretty much everybody could agree with that. There might have been a couple of issues, but phenomenal job. Just going back, and this was a public hearing, I think a year before. A parent from the north side spoke about Columbus Park on Carroll Street that, and I watched a traffic board so I can understand where this would be a lot of red tape for you. But there was discussion about putting speed bumps or children at play, either stripings in the street or signage. And the reason I'm like trying to prep for this is because between Exchange and Carroll Street, I believe it's Lyle Avenue, the new intergenerational YWCA program, the new building will be coming in the next few years, and just trying to prep for that. What do you have to do the speed bumps? Are there any special regulations? It is in Center City, so I don't know if that would be something we can help with funding, but that was just something that was brought up at one of our public hearings, and I haven't had a chance to address it with any DPW person, so just appreciate the opportunity.
So when it comes to speed bumps, I'm very opposed to it. They just take a beating all winter long. It makes snow operations very hard, things like that. The new thing in the industry is the tables, like what you see on State Street, where the deco project we just did. It's not as extreme, but it still gives you a little bit of a bump, and it does slow people down, and it kind of works as a crosswalk. The only thing is, to put those in, we kind of have to be redoing the street at the same time. It requires curb cuts and ADA access and all these other things that go along with it. So you can't just slap one in. It's something that takes a lot of time, funding, and has to be done correctly.
Thank you for explaining, because many times we hear things, but we need you, the professionals, to help explain any speed bumps along the way or special things or what doesn't work for you. We really appreciate that honesty.
No problem. My office, you can always call the office. I'm more than willing to talk to anybody who's has questions.
Have you seen those Swedish speed bumps? I think it's Sweden. They have them where they're flush with the ground, and they have speed detectors. And if you're over a certain speed, it drops out. So then your car hits that, and it basically forces speeders to slow down. Now that's a lot of technology, but I was saying that, and you're talking about it anyway, and I'm like, well, is that even
Let's
practical?
tackle potholes first.
Potholes. I have 2 crews out daily working on potholes, 2 hot boxes going, and I'm spreading them around town. I'm not just having them exclusively south or exclusively west. Every day they're picking another side and trying to get the worst stuff done first.
This is, it's not CDAC because the street is to business, but the dig up and the change and the metal plates you have right now on Glenwood. Today, I noticed when I was there, it's moved about a foot. And I'm always afraid now when I hit it that I'm going to end up going in it because it's moved so far. The second plate has moved.
Today, I have guys in tomorrow. I will have someone take a look at it. That is actually a contractor working on that, but we can definitely straighten out some plates and make sure that if
Yeah,
you notice
because they
something that I
put
did
the
not.
pavement around them to hold them in.
Mhm.
And it's a good, probably foot away from the plate now. It's kind of scary. I don't know how big the hole is underneath that it's covering, but
It's just it's a bad dip is all
Okay.
it is.
I feel better about that.
I would like, hi. I just want to say that this doesn't probably have to do with public works that you take care of, but the garbage men who come to my street are awesome. And I just want that compliment to go back to the department. I live on Elm Street and the guys are fantastic. I watch them and what they do. It's really nice. I know their job is hard, but when they've gone through the street is neat again. And I appreciate that very much.
I'll pass that on to the guys.
you.
I'll let Commissioner Fran also know.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, and Fran's been wonderful about responding to complaints about garbage and things like that, tagging things. You guys do a really great job.
I
Thank you.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Can I make a comment? Thank you for your efforts on Fayette Street. Those properties, I know it's been an ongoing situation over there with the garbage in between. It's been bad, so thank you for that.
Again, I have a really great team that's really responsive, and my guys, whether you're in the office or on the back of the truck, they work really hard.
Yeah. So the other thing I would like to, would you care to comment on the cost and the location of buying the city blue bags? I hear a lot of negative comments, myself included, sometimes in great frustration. Many times they're not available in the grocery stores and the price has gone up a lot. And it's a burden on senior citizens and poorer people.
So if you call a different company, you don't have to have us pick up your garbage. There's a couple other companies that can do it. If you call and compare the prices, I believe that the blue bags are significantly cheaper for two reasons. Number one, you're only paying for what you put out. So my family of four, two little girls, I put out a lot of garbage. But where like my grandparents, two older retired people, they put out one small bag a week. So I think that's a little bit better way than the flat fees that you get charged for the can for another company. That's my opinion of it. As far as getting them out there, I believe today we had one of the Dollar Generals call and ask if what they need to do to get involved so they could sell bags from their store. So all that's getting started. We're trying to get a little more outreach to that, to things like that too. We also go out of our way to make sure that all the local businesses are selling them at the correct price. There's not price gouging going on with them. We get those calls from time to time, and me, Commissioner Fran, personally go there and find out what's going on, and you can't do that. We need to keep the price what the price is for everybody. You can't charge whatever you want for it. That's a set price for everybody. As far as the price per bag, you'll have to take that up with the finance. That's just goes through the cost of doing business. It costs money to tip the bags. They set those prices, not me.
I see nothing else. I just want to say that I could set they beat my alarm by about 2 minutes every Friday morning on the east side of the garbage truck. Actually, I think it's recycled that comes through first, but by 2 minutes every day, I hear the truck's brakes in front of my house and the can hit the curb when they're done with it. And I'm like, and then they drive away and I hear down the street and then all of a sudden my alarm goes off and I'm like, I might as well just switch and just let them wake me up, but the timing is perfect. It's literally the same every time.
One thing I'll say to everybody, we had some pretty significant wind the last couple of days. Is we'll be out trying to pick up the litter as much as we can with the time we have allowed. Like I said, we're in pothole season now. I'm trying to get that done. We're out there. I promise you, we're out there working, trying to get everything straightened up to make this city look the way it should.
John.
I just have one more general question, because, you know, your job brings you to every corner of the city outside of the world of DPW. And you know, you sat through the rest of this meeting. You were here early. Where should funding be directed in the city? What services do we need? What are your observations?
Where do we need the most help?
Yeah.
That's a loaded question. It really is. I mean, I like this. I'd like to see my department get as much money as they can to get things cleaned up, to buy equipment to clean things up, to hire more guys. I want to see the parks full of kids playing. I don't want to see people on the streets laying in cul-de-sacs and things like that. I don't think any one answer is a good answer to that. I think it needs to be spread around a little bit to everybody, so everybody can do a little bit is the best answer to that question.
It's a good answer too. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anybody else? Seeing or hearing none. Joshua, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
You too. Thank you. Well, I just think purple dirty would be kind of scary for a kid. She asked me what's wrong with a purple pool, and I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with a purple pool, but I think if it got a little dirty, as a former City of Binghamton lifeguard, the watercolor does change from opening till we close for lunch. And then again, from when we reopen after break until close, the color of that water changes a little bit. And pool would be all that appealing with a color change of a yellowish green water. I think it could be scary for a kid. Thank you. All right. That is the last of our presentations because I don't see anybody from the mayor's office here today. Do we have any further business? Oh, yes, I do. I was handed the list of scheduled on-site visits for 2025. I'm just going to run down through them quickly. Feel free to jot down these dates and times. Did you email it to us or did you give it to everybody? Well, I'll just read it to get it in the record. All right. Broome County Urban League, Tuesday, May 6th, 1 o'clock. Action for Older Persons, Wednesday, May 7th at 10 a.m. It's a double shot on Friday with Catholic Charities at 10 and Achieve at 1 p.m. That's Friday, May 9th. Fairview Recovery, that is Tuesday, May 20th at 10 a.m. The YWCA, just next door here, Tuesday, May 27th at 10 a.m. The Broome County Council of Churches is Tuesday, May 27th at 2 p.m. The following day, Vines, May 28th at 10 a.m. The Binghamton Housing Authority on Exchange Street, Thursday, June 12th at 9 a.m. The Boys and Girls Club, June 17th at 10 a.m. And FEN, the Family Enrichment Network, Tuesday, June 17th at 2 p.m. So those are our scheduled on-site visits. If there's any of them that you would like to go to, feel free to, let her know and join us because I'm going to be at some of those. You gave yours away.
Just so y'all know, not all agencies have responded. This is just the most updated list. and there could be more. If you like the paper version better, let me know and I'll get them to you. Otherwise, if more agencies respond after today, it'll have to be an email until I see you again.
Justin,
Yes.
was there any follow-up on our recommendation about membership last
Yes.
month?
Oh.
Did that go to council?
So I did submit all of that to council, the vote, who has openings, etc. I spoke with all three of them who have openings or soon to be openings. And I spoke to them yesterday or today. It's all blurring together. And in person, and they're all going to work forward. Nate thought he had one, but wasn't sure. So he forgot that he had named Rebecca Rathmel from out of his district for his district. So when she won, he forgot. He was thinking in his head that it opened up her spot, not his. So he's got a name in mind that he's going to present, and he may present that sooner rather than later because his is open right now. Officially, our recommendations were for May 1st. So the other two will name somebody potentially this month to begin with our next session, after the 30th, obviously. But they all agreed that the attendance was unacceptable, that 0 and 1 meetings in a year is not appropriate. When I said that, you know, there's times where we've actually had departments in our and agencies in the audience and had to turn them away because we didn't have a quorum for our meetings, that missing the 3 people meant that basically we all had to be here to vote on stuff, and that it just was not a acceptable time. Also, I want you to note that everyone got the texts today, right? The texts went out and they're still not here. So, no. One, two, three, 4, 5. 5 of you responded in person or in whatever. So I think we made the right decision, and they're working on getting those seats filled. Obviously, it's not going to impact our vote. We still all need to be here on the 30th, pizza day. There'll be pizza and wings and all that stuff. And we got a lot of work to do that day. So please, everyone, be here on time, preferably 6 o'clock, and then we can chime in right at 6:30 or whatever. And have meet at 6, eat 6:30, hammer and get it done. Yes? No? Good? Okay. Perfect. All right, so let's do attendance and our final attendance and adjournment. So let's start with Deborah.
Hogan Merrill appointee.
Jordan Trice, 5th District.
John Brunza, mayoral appointee.
Mary Ann Callahan, mayoral appointee.
Eileen Hughes, District 2. Ellen Austin, District 6. Michelle O'Loughlin, member at large.
And I'm Justin McGregor, 7th District and Chair. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All
I'll
right, Michelle.
I'll second.
John, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, unanimous. We'll see you on the 30th.